Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another Diablo 4 video. In this one, we're going to cover the update for Season 2 Diablo 4 launch, patch 1.2120. So, quite a few things. The game has been in a pretty bad state for a lot of reasons, as luckily they're taking pretty big leaps in the right direction. The real question is, if they've taken a 7,000 mile hike down the wrong road and are now taking a couple of 100 meters sprint in the right direction, is that enough to make the game, reasonably considered good? Or are we going to still be calling the game D4 bad? That's the big question. I think personally, from my perspective, that the changes are promising, and I can't make a decision on this until I play test it. Hopefully, the incentivizing features that they've added for endgame farming, with target farming approaches and more endgame mechanics, incentivizing us to do other things than just Nightmare Dungeons, is going to be very fun to engage with. The question is, how much fun is it going to be, since they're speeding up the game with leveling progression and all those aspects as well. So we'll see if it's going to be enough. At least it's a step in the right direction. So hopefully, if this isn't enough, that we're going to see this being vastly improved further down the road. I hope it's enough, but I'm very, very carefully optimistic when I say that. That said, however, the changes, there's quite a few things. In the link to the descriptions below is the link to the actual patch notes. There's also a link to the Icy Veins Diablo 4 guides for Necromancers, and I wanted to make this video to basically just talk about the fact that I'm not sure if it's enough, but I hope it is. It is definitely a step in the right direction, and the big question people have in mind is, what build is now going to be the best for the Necromancers going into the season? This is a very hard question to tackle because we have to see all the changes and all the additions to the Paragon changes so that we can actually utilize something like the D4 builds tools and go through the Paragon board and actually start filling with this. So I can't update anything properly in the build guide pages until this has actually been fixed, so I can play around with it and look at the numbers in the theoretical perspective and point of view. So once that's done, I'm going to have a theoretical update for all my build guides leading into the Season 2 launch. However, I will say that based on the information, they have drastically nerfed some of the high-end performance of things like Bone Spear. At the same time, the best performing Necromancer build during Season 1 has been the Ring of Mendon build. And the Ring of Mendon, for those of you who don't know what that is, it looks like this. This ring is absolutely insane. This is how we trigger lucky hits to make our minions do damage or deliver your own damage. You actually only scale your own damage, but have your minions apply it. Similar to something like a Dark Pact ability in Path of Exile, something I'm a very big fan of. That said, this was triggered excessively through the use of Bone Prison. And to show you what they did to that is that the ghastly Bone Prison right here was made so they fixed an issue where this was triggering lucky hits. This is how we were consistently triggering the lucky hit approach of Ring of Mendon to just have this happen over and over and over and over again. It was completely broken. On top of the fact that we applied vulnerability with this. Or vulnerable, rather. So the changes to it is obviously a direct nerf to it. However, it doesn't change that much, because Bone Spear has an extremely high base chance to apply lucky hits. On top of which, with the aspect power, allows us to be in a position where you can, in a proper precision, apply 6 hits per cast with a very high lucky hit chance, which allows us to, again, consistently be applying the approach of lucky hits through Ring of Mendon by simply replacing the Bone Prison with Bone Spear. And this is very important to point out because of the simple fact that you're scaling your own damage to do Ring of Mendon. It is also physical damage, similar to what Bone Spear is doing. So the gearing process of a Ring of Mendon build is very similar to that of what a Bone Spear build is. So from my perspective that I see right now is that a hybrid version of the Ring of Mendon and a Bone Spear build is very likely, based on the information we have, going to be the top performing build in the game for Necromancers. And I'm very happy with it because I'm a very big fan of the Ring of Mendon build. So I'm going to do what Adam Jackson did and what Blizzard seem to be very big fans of, and that is using my hands to display the balancing. And that's how Blizzard is balancing Diablo 4, and it's called the hand balancing strategy. It's trademarked by Phalanax here in the Twitch chat, so thank you for that, by the way. A little shout out for you. Here's the balances. You ready? Yes. Are you? No. Yes. Yeah, I thought so. So, they're ready. Here's the sweet spots. Most builds, they want to be in this sweet spot. This is where Bone Spear build were, and this is Ring of Mendon. Now, they nerfed those down with a lot of changes. They want to be in the sweet spot. But because of the changes and the theoretical approach of what we're looking at, here's the sweet spot. Ring of Mendon hybrid with Bone Spear is going to be up here. theoretically, it will outperform everything else quite drastically at a theoretical perspective. The only thing I can't pinpoint where it's on this hand balance scale is where the blood bills are. I have no idea. But with the information provided, Ring of Metal should be outperforming everything. Bone Spear builds should be in the top section of the sweet spot based on this information. And minion builds would have moved from the low end of this section to the higher end, or if not the middle end. This is again just theoretical information based on my educated guess. And this is how I see the approach of the tier listing, if you will, or scaling the different minion builds or Necromancer builds available in Season 2. So I'm very happy about this because I'm a big fan of Ring of Metal build myself. It's been my favorite build to play, and it's what I did to kill Uber Lilith, for example, before Season 1 and during Season 1 as well. So that's basically the take I have. I firmly believe that Ring of Metal on Summoner is going to be the best performing build, shortly followed by Bone Spear, and then you have the other builds. And I'm going to be reserved when it comes to Bloodlands and blood builds in general, because without knowing exactly all the details around the overpower, I can't really pinpoint where it's going to land on a scale. So that's my take from my perspective. Anyways, I don't want to prolong and extend this video too long. Hope you guys like this take and my take on the patch notes. Don't want to dive in too much. If you want to check out the details, check the link in the description. There's a link to my guides on ice events as well, the Diablo 4 Necromancer guides, all covered by me. Do check them out. Hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and leave a comment. It helps pray for the algorithm gods and all that bullshit. You know what to do. So anyways, till next time, stay safe. Keep rocking.